Do-do-do.
Richard! Richard, help!
Shawn,
Yeah, it's me!
why are you in a sewer?
I was looking for the turtles.
You were as pathetic as you are sad. Now listen to this, because it's a Pod Bros exclusive. I'll go get a ladder. What's up, everybody? I am Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we are speaking the language of bromance. Shawn, how are you today?
I am fantastic.
Ooh, he's fantastic.
I've discovered, Richard, a place. We've talked about Bro Island before.
I loved Bro Island. I'm still saving up the money to live there.
Oh, yeah, it's difficult. Like, you have to pack up all your stuff. You have to buy, like Island Land is not cheap, right?
No, you need stupid money. You need like Mariah Carey money. Because doesn't she own an island?
Johnny Depp owns an island, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you need Johnny Depp money.
Although he's going broke. I don't know if you've heard any of those stories.
Do you find, okay, see, I think their definition of broke and my definition of broke are two different things. Because Johnny Depp's broke and he owns an island. I'm broke and I want milk.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he still has assets, but his broke is like, oh, you have to sell your $100 million yacht.
Right.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll have to part with it.
Yeah.
I haven't sailed on it since I've bought it.
Mm-hmm.
That's, when you're stupid rich. Like, you buy a yacht and you only go on it once. I don't know if he ever did, but I'm sure there's people that do.
Honestly, I think if I was stupid rich, I wouldn't own a boat. I don't think I'd own a boat.
I'd be down for owning an island, though.
I would be down for owning an island. And I would charter a boat to take me there.
Yeah.
But I don't need to own a boat to take me there.
When you're that stupid, like, if you just have enough money to buy the island and a little bit of money to, bring the coconuts in and the hula pigs or whatever you want to eat there.
If I'm buying an island, it better already have coconuts on it.
Maybe you like exotic coconuts.
No, I want the fancy coconuts.
No, these are imported.
I don't want these shit coconuts. Look at this. Look, you throw them at things. Guess what? Burst open. Isn't a lot of milk.
That's when like you've married the wrong woman because she's on the island with you, and he's like, we've got coconuts right here, babe. No, those are local coconuts. It's like, this is an island. Like, this isn't where we're technically from.
Yeah, I want organic coconuts. We're on an island.
We literally don't have electricity here. There's a hut. That's what we live in.
There is nothing more organic than me grabbing this and plucking it from a tree.
But it's not imported. I want imported.
Until Monsanto shows up and, oh my God, not the Monsanto again.
But yeah, you own that island, you're hanging out, and somebody comes and is like, hey, you want to do Pirates of the Caribbean 5? It's like, no.
No.
Only ones after that were good was the first one. None of the other ones were any good. And then it's like, hey, Johnny, doing your finances, and we're going to be coming up a little short. It's like, we'll sell the yacht. Well, we did. And we're still coming up short. Type in the phone. Hey, is that Pirates of the Caribbean movie still on board? I'll take anything else you got too.
Sure.
Moose Jaws. What's that gonna pay?
Call up Tim Burton. Yeah, like, what are you doing?
He's like, I'm doing
perfect.
Nothing.
Put me in that.
I'm doing something dark. Of course you are.
Do you find it? Okay, maybe this is just me, but do you find it really surprising that Johnny Depp never ended up in a Batman movie? How did that happen?
Point, yeah.
How did Johnny Depp not end up in a Batman movie?
Well, the second one came out in 90. When did Burton and him team up?
Scissorhands was out in...
That was like in the early 90s.
Like late 80s? No. Scissorhands came out like 89, I thought. Because I thought it might even be earlier.
1990.
Okay, so after Batman, but before Batman Begins.
Yeah, but Batman Begins happened, and I'm sure that was already going at the time Scissorhands was going. So by the time they probably had that kinship, it was already Batman Forever, which Burton didn't have much of a hand in.
Well, he managed to squeeze Pee Wee Herman in there. He couldn't squeeze in Johnny Depp.
Pee Wee Herman was in?
Pee Wee Herman was in Batman Returns.
Oh, well, yeah, but that was pre... Like I said, like the Scissorhands and them was probably... Their kinship was just starting at the same time. Returns was probably already in progress.
Pee Wee Herman, the reason, Pee Wee Herman was in Tim Burton's first movie, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
Ah, a little bit of trivia for you. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, first ever directorial debut of Tim Burton.
And then years later, there was Pee-wee's Little Adventure, and that's when he got caught and went to jail.
Oh,
Hey, good jokes.
that was a crock. I don't want to talk about it. That was a crock.
Yeah.
Pee-wee got a raw deal. I mean, he got a raw deal, like he raw dogged it, and then he got a raw deal. Anyway.
What do you expect? But anyway, owning an island, right? Like we've talked about that.
Right.
But our whole thing was that we would basically like crash land on an island. That's how we would get a free. It's an undiscovered island that we crash land on.
Yeah, getting on a fancy boat and sailing there sounds much more pleasant.
Oh, yeah. But still, it's a ton of money, right?
Yeah, I would think.
But Richard, what if I could tell you that there's an island out there near New Zealand, which is near Australia, where you can go.
So it's in between New Zealand and Australia?
I think it's probably on the other side of New Zealand. It doesn't really say specifically, but it talks more about New Zealand. So if it was in between the two, I'd probably say yes. But this, I think, is probably off the coast somewhere more towards the other side.
All right.
But it's a British colony. So one of the last British colonies out there, right, Richard?
Well, I guess the last one that didn't revolt.
Basically. But they're having trouble having like people live on this island. So they are offering free land to anybody that wants to live on this island.
How big is it? How big is the island? Because I would think that it would be like if someone tells me, "Hey, free island," I'm picturing those cartoons that you see all the time where it's just a sandy hill with one palm tree on it.
Yeah, no, it seems like it's not like small. It's actually quite a ways away from Australia. It's probably like looking at the map, it's pretty far south, but when you're looking at like directional, if this was the flat earth, if you're looking directional, don't start with the flat earth. It's actually probably a little bit closer to the Americas than it is Australia and New Zealand.
Okay.
So it's kind of stuck out in the middle. But the total landmass of this is 18 square miles.
18 miles?
Yeah, 18 square miles. But that's good.
18 miles, like if somebody's living on one part and somebody's living on the other side, you're not really going to run into each other.
Yeah, I mean, if you're wanting to take a long walk, like it's going to take you all day to get from one end to the other. Actually, probably longer. I don't know if you can walk 18 miles in a day.
I would walk 18 miles.
I would walk 100 miles. I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more. But so, Richard, in this land is free and plentiful. The weather's good. It does not go below 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Like this is like your dream. This is a dream island.
That is true. I mean, yeah, I guess you don't get any of the conveniences of technology, but if that's not what you're into, then
that's the thing. Later in the story they talk about like so once you're the middle of nowhere is the way they kind of sell this, but
yeah,
now
pretty much, yeah,
they are connected as much as anywhere else because now the island has electricity and it even has internet, so you have internet and electricity.
Okay, wait, let me see if I understand this correct. Okay, now hang on, because now you've piqued my interest here. So there's an island near the Americas. So a South Pacific is what you're telling me. There's a South Pacific island that's offering me free land.
Yes.
And the island has not only electricity, but internet.
Yep.
So they've run like an underwater cable.
Well, and they probably use like satellites or something like that, maybe.
Well, no, like Australia runs off underwater cables. There was a story I read once where like half of the internet in the country went out because there was a boat or a fishing trawler or something that accidentally pulled up one of the cables and snipped it.
Oh, bastards. And then like Chief Brody had to pick it up out of the water and was smacking it with the oar. And a shark came swimming and bit it and got electrocuted.
Holds it up. Is like, what the hell's that? Sea serpent. Kill it with fire. I got his head. I cut it in half. I killed a sea serpent. That wasn't a sea serpent. That was my Wi-Fi, dick.
Doesn't matter. It's going up on my mantle.
This piece of twisted wire sitting above a guy's mantelpiece.
Grandpa, what's that? Well, son, back in the day, I was going over the seven seas, and I was getting attacked by a giant sea serpent, and I wish the day that the Wi-Fi went out as well, because the giant sea serpent was trying to cut communication.
Some say coincidence, I say I averted disasters.
Goddamn Sasquatch.
Okay, so the place has electricity and internet, and I can live there for free. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Well, the only big thing is that there's not many people on this island. There was a big kind of...
Again, I'm waiting for the con.
Back in 2004, there was a big child abuse scandal on the island, but all those people basically got kicked off the island or arrested. There's less than 200 residents that live on this island.
So it started out with like somebody, they're like, oh, like the mayor's like, all right, guys, every Halloween we go through this. The kids, they're running around crazy. They're grabbing our pineapples and they're smashing them on the sidewalk. We spend all that time carving pineapples because we're carving pineapples because pumpkins, I mean, we're in the tropics. We're not growing pumpkins. And even if we did, why would we? We got pineapples.
But God damn it, Governor, I was wanting that goddamn pumpkins. I've been trying to grow them for months.
Internet's been out 5 times in the last 2 months because Cleatus keeps cutting the cable out in the water. I got me like 5 sea serpents.
The eating's a little tough, but, once you get past the chewing, Cleatus, you don't have any teeth. I know that's what makes it so difficult.
It's so stringy. That's not stringy. That's
copper.
Wire. That's copper. That is copper wire.
I wonder why I've been trying to shit gold for months. It comes up to the Pitcairn. We haven't even told what the island name is, Richard. It's Pitcairn, Pitcairn.
Pitcairn. Okay.
So he goes to the Pitcairn bank every day with like this turd filled with copper. I've been shitting gold. It's a miracle.
You are not the Philosopher's Stone, Cleatus. This is a pile of shit with flecks of copper in it. I don't even know how you pass these. You need to see a doctor. You need to see a doctor immediately. Because this right here, not normal. This right here, not normal. Also not normal is the fact that you put it on my desk.
I still like to get a receipt for my deposit, please.
Wrap it up in newspaper and get the fuck out of my office, Cleatus.
Cleatus goes to the doctor. Doc's like, okay, so you've been having troubles with your stool. So has there been some blood? There's a lot of blood, doctor.
So much blood, doc.
But it's gold. It's not gold. It's copper.
No, it turns out, Cleatus, the problem is that you are literally crapping heavy metals. I know I dropped sick beats. No, not like that. We're not talking about your budding DJ career when you're not, using air quotes, killing sea serpents. I'm talking about the fact that you were literally shitting copper flecks because you were eating wire. And how are you alive? You were a medical miracle.
Doctor, I've never eaten any metal in my life. I've been eating some sea urchins. They'll taste pretty damn good. Doctor's like, oh, damn, my laptop battery's getting a little low. Pulls out a cord, sticks it in. Oh, Jesus Christ, doctor, it's a baby one. Let me get it.
Oh, baby, sea serpent.
I usually don't eat them raw. It's not good on my tum-tum, but for you, doctor, I'll do it. This visit's free, right?
Doris, he did it again. Okay, so...
Doris, he did it again.
So he goes to the bank. Or no, so I can live on this island. And it's free. Well, I can live on the island for free, or I get the land for free.
Yeah, so you have to build your own house.
I have to build my own house.
So the only downside I'm thinking, besides living with Cleatus, not having a lot of people, is that they only have one general store.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, think about this though. In a town of 200 people, I mean, is it? I mean, you don't need Walmart.
No, that's a good point. And usually probably what you do is you go in the days it's open, says, hey, here's the stuff I need.
Right.
And then because they have to probably get all that stuff from New Zealand. So there's probably like one ship that comes once a week or a couple times a week.
Yeah. And just, I need to grab sugar. I need to grab blah, blah, blah. Plus think about this. If you're living, what exactly would you have to pay for? Do you have to pay, I assume, for the internet and the electric?
I'd assume so. Yeah.
Where does your garbage go? That's a good question.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if it's mostly, you're not going to have McDonald's, so probably a lot of your food is going to be like you're not going to have paper plates, probably.
No.
So there's probably not going to be much trash. And a lot of it, I bet they send it back on the ships. Cleatus is out there, it's like, okay, I got my payment. Here's a bunch of dead sea urchins.
Yeah.
Go take them to them scientists.
Somebody just got done wiring their house. They're like, oh my God. Goes and beats on Tom's door like, your house is riddled with sea serpents. They're everywhere.
Don't worry.
I rewired the house. I'm doing a second floor and I needed outlets and I wanted to put in ceiling fans. So if you could just stop. No, Cleatus, don't rip my wall down.
This one's got me. It's a spider. God damn it,
my.
Cleatus.
Let me turn off the breaker so you don't kill yourself.
That's how Cleatus makes his money. He's like, all right, okay, Tom, so I got 17 baby urchins.
No, here's what happens. Is he takes all this copper wire. He's like, let me get this. I'll get rid of all these sea serpents. Then he goes to New Zealand, and as soon as he gets off the boat, he's like, excuse me, kind sir, I have a boat full of copper wire here. If you be willing to pay me, you can have all this copper wire. And like sells it for a fucking mint. Cleatus is actually the richest man on the island.
They feel too bad for him. They think he's dumb.
Yeah.
So he's like, don't worry, guys. I'm gonna put all these sea serpents on the trash ship. Take them back to the mainland, and I'll tell them tales of the island of the sea serpents.
And then he gets to New Zealand. He's like, oh God, I hate doing that voice. It's fucking brutal.
Hurts my
so
throat.
Hard in my throat.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But gotta make $1.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Who's in the market for some copper wire?
And then people are like, so you're from what the hell do we call this island? You're from Pitcairn. You're from Pitcairn, right? Yeah. Yeah, I am. It's like, so, we hear that like they're offering free land there. Like, is it nice? He's like, no. God, no.
No, there's crazy people that scream about sea serpents. It's like the village of the damned, I swear to God. They used to beat the kids. That's what happened. Mayor came out and he was like, hey, all these kids carving pineapples, smashing our pineapples on Halloween. Here's what we're going to do. I've figured out a method. You find a kid smashing pineapples on Halloween, guess what? Punch him in the face.
Yeah. Do you want your kids punched in the face? No, you don't?
No.
Don't ever go there. Don't ever go there.
Keep your kids inside. That's all I'm saying.
Gets back on the ship. Whew. All right. Dodge that bullet.
Whew, that was close.
Okay, guys, I came back with the money for the copper. So now you guys can actually build your homes right.
I brought home the mother of all sea serpents. A big fucking spool of wire. Thanks, Cleatus. We need that to, fix the internet. And all
these people think like they're the most progressive. Like, listen, we've got this mentally handicapped man. His job on the island is to fight the sea serpents.
We say job. I mean, just picture think Sling Blade, but in the tropics.
Mm-hmm.
This is like Sling Blade Part 2 Weekend at Sling Blades.
Sling Blade in paradise.
Yeah. Aloha Sling Blade.
I sure like them French fried coconuts.
That's good.
So
I like them coconuts right there and kill them sea serpents.
What are you gonna do with that sling blade? Well, I reckon I'm gonna kill me some sea serpents. So the biggest problem on this island, Richard, we kind of referred to it. So we've got Cleatus over here, and his job is to fight sea serpents, right?
Yeah. He wants to be the St. Patrick of Pitcairn. I'll drive all the sea serpents into the sea. Oh, wait a minute. That's not going to work. Oh, my God. My whole life has been a lie.
There were some sly, slick sons of bitches.
Oh, you won this round, sea serpents, but just you wait. Here I come. Oh, I'm coming.
So they're at a town hall meeting. Everybody shows up. Like, why are we all here? Like, what's going on? Is there an electricity problem? And Cleatus walks up like, okay, everybody, call this
first
meeting.
Thing Cleatus does is scratch the chalkboard on the stage. I'll kill your sea serpents. He thinks he's Quint now.
There's an audible groan. Everybody's like, God damn it. What's like last time Cleatus had this thing with the coconuts, how he thought they were bugged and how they're spying on us.
Yeah.
Like, what's it going to be this time?
Sea serpents. Meanwhile, there's a giant snake with a wig on in the back. I say we let him go.
So he's like, I think we need to have a new election because this mayor here ain't doing shit. He's like, you know what we need to do to keep these sea serpents out? We need to build a wall.
In the water.
It's a wall to build in the walls. It's a sea serpent wall.
Yeah, it keeps out them undesirables, you know what I mean? Yes, Cleatus, we know exactly what you mean when you say undesirables. I'll kill you, sea serpent. Scratches the board again. Stop scratching the board, it hurts.
And where'd you get a chalkboard at anyway? It's 2017.
I have a marker, for fuck's sake.
I had some, but I sniffed them all.
Marker up his nose. I don't know what happens to it.
It helps me fight the sea serpent.
First thing you have to do is to get yourself all hopped up. That's how I learn all the words for my songs while I sail. Orderly, orderly.
Farewell, you to fair Australian lady. So the problem with this island, which, like you say, what's the big issue? They don't really have any jobs. They don't have any jobs to offer you.
But I'm saying, what would I have if I'm living on an island? What am I paying for? Do I have to pay for the electricity? Do I have to pay for the internet? Do I have to pay for trash pickup?
Have to pay for your house? I'm sure like all the stuff you have to pay for now, you have to pay for there too.
Well, okay, the house is one thing because you're buying material. You're going to have to bring in those materials to build a house.
Majority
unless you get some land, chop down the palm trees and build like a palm tree log cabin.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That's what Cleatus lives in.
But it's really not even a log cabin, it's just stacked up coconuts.
It's a pile of coconuts and trees.
I heard that the sea serpents can't come past the coconut wall.
Just looks like an igloo, but it's made out of coconuts with sticks holding it up so it doesn't cave in on him. Best part about this is, if I want milk, I just grab something from the ceiling. Breakfast.
Farewell and adieu to you, coconut milk. Going right down to the bottom of my belly.
So I'm asking, like, what would I need a job for?
Well, I mean, even if you think you try to live minimally, I mean, you still need to bring in some kind of cash, unless you try to like completely live off the island. But then you probably can't have the electricity or the internet.
Well, also you gotta get stuff from the store.
Yeah, I mean, if you want food, if you could survive off the island, which I don't know how plentiful like any kind of vegetation and stuff. I mean, you could fish if you got good at fishing.
Yeah, you could fish. Probably start a garden. You could grow all kinds of shit down there. It's a tropical island. You can grow like bananas. You can grow coconuts, obviously. Bananas,
pineapples, maybe. Yeah,
pineapples,
kiwis.
I
love kiwi.
I've never been big on kiwi.
Ooh, they're good.
I mean, like, I like them, but I just like, I don't picture myself picking up a kiwi and eating it.
Well, you have to cut the skin off. You don't eat the skin.
Okay.
I had somebody in my life by the name of Satan that would eat the skin, and when I would cut it off, would berate me for not eating the skin.
Oh,
yeah.
Poor Dad. It was Dad, wasn't it?
It was. Laura, he doesn't eat the potato skin and the kiwi skin.
You're not supposed to eat the kiwi skin, John. Shut up. That's where all the nutrients are, Laura.
You want him to get a vitamin deficiency? Have you seen how he throws a baseball, Laura?
He's gonna get the scurvy. Eat this orange. Eat the skin too.
Dad, I'm seeing sea serpents. But Richard, back in the day, so Cleatus has probably been on this island for a long time, right?
He was on the island when people first showed up on the island. They're like, oh my God, look at this uninhabited island. Jesus Christ, what is that? Did you see it? See what? Sea serpents.
Who are
what
you?
What are you doing here?
I don't have a name, but I go by Cleatus.
And I'm so lonely. Will you be my friend? We could start a town here. We'll call it Pitcairn. That doesn't, I don't even know what that means. That doesn't sound like it makes any sense.
You don't sound like you make any sense. Hey, this is my island. It's Pitcairn.
Yeah. Rule number 1, watch out for sea serpents.
Rule number 2, sea serpents taste good with ranch.
And then there was the day that the town brought in electricity and internet. What the hell is that? That's underwater cable. They're laying it down so that way we can have, electricity because we don't live in 1430. Look like sea serpent. You wait. I'll get my boat. We'll go out there and kill it together. No, we won't. We won't do any such thing.
Oh, yeah, we won't do any such thing. Wink, wink. I'll see you at 6.
Because without that, I don't get to look at porn. Do you know what happens when I don't get to look at porn, Cleatus? Bad things. Bad things, Cleatus.
Cleatus, my sea serpent gets really angry.
When I see a sea serpent, you cut off my porn and I'm going to show you my sea serpent, Cleatus. That's code.
I'm scared and aroused at the same time.
I'm a cornhole you, Cleatus.
Here, put this coconut brow on. Sing Wild Horses. Wild, wild horses. So, Richard, when Cleatus lived here back in the day, they decided that they would sell stamps to raise funds.
Where are they getting the stamps from?
Oh, I don't know, all over. But the problem is that stamp collecting is not popular anymore. So their main source of income is kind of starting to go away.
So here's what happened. This is how the whole formation of the island took place, okay? There was one guy who was living in Phoenix or something, and he had this amazing stamp collection. Like the biggest stamp collection in the world. And you know what, Shawn? He got sick of life. He got tired. He got tired of the day-to-day. He spends his whole life chasing down. He's working in an office, and then in his off time, just for some sense of relief, just for something to take the pressure off of his day-to-day, he goes and he scours the country for stamps. Scours the internet for stamps.
Trying to get one from every country.
Yeah, he's on eBay and he's, flipping through pages and pages of people selling stamp books. He's on a first name basis with the people of the post office. And it's, what should his name be? Let's call his name's Paul.
Okay.
So Paul has this enormous and frankly amazing stamp collection. I say amazing for people that collect stamps. Not really amazing to anyone else alive. So he never really finds love. He goes on some dates. He finds some people.
He's made good investments. So he's got Johnny Depp money.
Yeah, he's got stupid money,
but doesn't have the yacht and island.
No.
So finally, he's responsible.
One day he's like, you know what? I think that I'm just gonna kill myself. That's it. I'm done. I have this giant stamp collection, but I have no one to share it with.
Mm. But then he goes to the post office and somebody's like, hey, there's this letter. It's not addressed to anybody. And, Paul's like, well, I'm going to off myself at home. So I'll look at this one last letter.
Yeah.
He takes it, walks back to his house, says on the return address, it's Cleatus, Pitcairn Island.
No, even better. He looks at the envelope and he sees the stamp has a little picture of a tropical island.
Yeah.
And he's like,
do I have this one? Starts fumbling through his thing. This is a land of magic.
This is yeah, he just does a quick Google search. Be like, before I die, I want to die on a deserted island. That's what Paul does. Paul's like, I'm going to die on a deserted island.
He finds out that it's an island just of stamps. That's all they do is make stamps for all the places.
Not even that. So he sells all his stamps. Here you go. This is going to get good. So he sells all his stamps. And we're talking about one of the largest stamp collections ever. And Paul takes this money and he charters a boat. And he's like, he opens up a map and he just closes his eyes and points. And the captain's like, is that a potato chip crumb? And Paul's like, no, that's an island. Take me there. And so after days of choppy seas, and there's a storm at one point, and things get really scary. The boat's swaying back and forth, and Paul doesn't know if he's going to make it. But then the storm clears, and off in the distance, he sees palm trees. And he sees a sandy beach, and he sees waves gently lapping on the shore.
That sounds peaceful.
And he says, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And he hops off the boat.
Does he do like the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves? Like he jumps out like halfway in the water?
That's exactly what he does.
Comes rushing in, lands, like starts grabbing the sand and kissing it and eating it. He's almost. Where's the water?
The sand doesn't taste good. But then what happens is he accidentally eats a bunch of sand, and the sand gets in his throat, and he's like, oh God, you know what? This is where I'm gonna. And the sand starts to grind on the inside of his throat, and he's like, this is where I'm gonna live forever.
This is gonna be my home.
This is gonna be my home forever. And the captain's like, Paul, do we need to pick you up? No, not Paul anymore. My name is Cleatus.
Okay, Cleatus.
All right. Well,
check's gonna clear, right?
Yeah, you're all good. Don't worry about it. Then people show up on the island. And he's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "Well, this looked like a really nice island. We want to live here." Well, all right, but you gotta live over there. 'Cause this is my house. Well, shouldn't we do something? Shouldn't we come together, like as a community, and try and do something?
Only if there's a natural threat that threatens us both.
Like rain or sea serpents.
You guys seen any of them sea serpents?
So people start coming to the island, and finally they have like a town hall meeting. They have their first town hall meeting. They're like, look, guys, I love living on this island. I love it. I'm sure you all love it too. It's paradise here. There's palm trees, nice breeze, sandy beaches.
The lowest temperature I've ever seen here, 63 degrees. The highest, 84.
That's amazing. This is amazing. This is literally paradise.
I have this huge fear of sharks, right? I used to live in Australia.
Oh my God. Everything tries to kill you there.
I come here. You know how many shark attacks you know how many sharks we've seen? 0.
No sharks.
None.
Not even on land. But we're running into a problem, guys. Here's the problem. The problem is we don't have any money. So we need to do something for money. And that's when Cleatus stands up and he scratches the chalkboard. Would you stop that? Stamps, everybody. What? Stamps. What are you saying stamps for? What are we gonna do with stamps? We'll make our own stamps.
And then do what with them, Cleatus?
We'll sell them. We'll sell them on the mainland. And there'll be a collector's item. And everybody will want them. Who collects stamps anymore? People still collect stamps.
Very intelligent, amazing people collect stamps, Cindy. You dumb broad.
What do you know, stupid bitch?
I'm sorry, sister. I know you're here on mission trips.
You worked in HR. Who does that? Nobody likes HR.
You only come up to me and there's a problem. Hey, Cleatus, you need to stop yelling at the kids.
Quit throwing rocks at the little children. That's all I ever hear.
Cleatus, stop burning down the sea serpents. I do a service for this island, Cindy. You don't understand. I keep us safe. If it wasn't for me, we'd all be sea serpent poop. Do you want to be sea serpent poop? I didn't think so, Cindy.
So after, 10 years, 15 years, the market drops out on stamps.
Yeah, so this place was probably thriving. Like years later, like, oh my God, Cleatus, you were right. We've got like 15 different stamps. We're selling them quicker than we can buy them. We have ships coming through here daily asking us if we have these stamps.
How did you know so much about stamps, Cleatus? It was about nothing.
Cleatus, origin story.
A long time ago, my name wasn't always Cleatus. It was Paul. And I didn't talk like this. That's from the sand.
Don't eat the sand. I think it may be toxic.
I've had sand in my throat for the last 20 years. I should clean it out, but then every morning I go out and eat a handful of sand because I'm so glad to live on this island.
My bowels are full of sand and copper.
I'm really kind of a medical miracle. Doc said so.
He says a man with your intelligence can live past the age of 25. Here I am, 27 and a half. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they used to test nuclear weapons on this island. That's why the sea serpents are so big.
They were little snakes. Now they're big snakes. So they were collecting stamps, and now the market dropped out on stamp collecting.
Well, maybe this is really like the Island of Misfit Toys. Maybe so. Like they started with stamps. Maybe this is where the Beanie Baby craze came from.
Ooh, that's a thought.
So like Cleatus is a thinker. Like he knows like crazes, and so he's like, we're gonna take these little big animals. No snake, no sea serpent though, because we don't wanna make them feel good about themselves. We just want to kill them and eat them. But we'll take like cute little bunny rabbits, and we'll get bears. We'll give them a little story, and we'll sell them $4 a piece.
It'll be amazing. Okay. So now they're all trying to figure out like what they're gonna do next.
Well, the problem is like the island's starting to become like extinct. Basically, like there's only 201 people. 200 people actually live there. And Cleatus.
So you're saying that was there more and now it's down to 200 people?
I think it's never been a huge amount, but it's been rapidly decreasing.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you think if it's 500 people, it's cut in half.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's still extremely drastic. But on the other hand, think about this, Shawn. Let's say if a bunch of people have left the island, you know what that means? Their houses are empty.
Ooh, that's a good point.
So if they're giving away land, just make sure they give away land that you get a piece of land that has a house on it.
That wouldn't be a bad deal, yeah. Or maybe I wonder if the people that leave the island are trying to sell that though, since they own that land, and maybe that's where the problem is.
I mean, fuck. At this point, if they're just going to give you the land, you could just take it and have it like as a vacation home.
Well, see, that's where like if you were smart. If you got on this island, you could almost make like a mini resort out of it. Like,
exactly.
Come to the island of the Sea Serpents.
Come to the island. Come to Pitcairn Island. Pitcairn Island. You know what we have? Sea serpents. You know what else we have? Cleatus. These are two attractions you don't want to miss, folks.
Cleatus leads him out into the thing, and he's like, oh, "Okay, so this is where we have a oh, son of a bitch, that's a big one. Everybody be quiet. There's a goddamn sea serpent over there."
So, okay. Now I've had the smart. Here's thinking here. Here's what we do, Shawn. We go down there and we claim a bunch of land with houses on it. Say we claim like, enough land that has like 4 or 5 houses on it.
Okay.
So we say it's got 5 houses. So we live in 2 houses, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The other 3, we Airbnb it.
Yeah.
Airbnb the other 3 houses. That gives us the money so that way we can buy shit at the general store and we get to look at porn on the internet.
Yeah.
You know what everybody else does? They get to watch Cleatus. They get to watch Cleatus try and gnaw through copper wire with his gums for teeth because he's already knocked all his teeth out.
So how are we going to keep Cleatus from eating our sea serpent wire? Do we just write not sea serpent on it? He's like, oh, that's not one.
I never learned to read. That's why I love stamps so much.
They're just pictures, and you can lick them. Have you ever licked a stamp? It tastes so good.
So good.
It's almost as good as sand in the morning.
That's awesome.
Just imagine like career day on the side. Like there's one school, and they're like, "Okay, Samantha, your Uncle C's coming in today."
Who's Uncle C? And the door flips open. Hi, kids. Oh, God, it's Cleatus.
Hi, Uncle C.
Why do you call him Uncle C? He's not related to anybody you know. He told me to call him that. She's my little nubbin nuggin. At least she better be, or else I'll punch her in the face.
Today, kids, I'm going to talk to you about the career of sea serpent hunting.
Now, a lot of you may be thinking, Cleatus, why do you kill sea serpents? At least that's what everybody asks me. Let me tell you why, kids. Protection. Protection in this uncertain time. You know, I used to collect stamps. Not kidding. I used to collect stamps. My name was Paul, and I used to collect stamps. You know what? Don't do that anymore. You know why? Because I found a higher calling. You know what my higher calling is? Sea serpents.
There could be a sea serpent in here right now, and you wouldn't know it, because those buggers are trickier than hell.
Oh, God, I hate career day.
There's only 3 people on this island. The merchant, the mayor, and Cleatus.
The only people left. They're like, I don't know where he keeps getting money, though, so I don't know what he's doing. He loads up all his, quote, sea serpents onto a boat. He goes to New Zealand. He comes back with a wad of cash. Who the hell's buying stuff that he's calling dead sea serpents?
It's like, I mean, all it is old wiring. I mean, what could that be? Wait a second. Hey, what happens to all that copper he shits out?
Oh, my God. I figured out Cleatus is secretly a genius.
But in the same minute, they're like, wait, the Cleatus we know? Yeah, you're right. He's not that smart.
No, never.
He's whoring himself out. That's what it is.
Well, Shawn, okay, you inspired me. So now I looked and I found another place that's giving away not just land, giving away free homes.
What?
So free houses. Okay. A small town in Italy is giving away free homes. It sounds too good to be true. And as one woman who visited that town found out, it is. See, so the island thing, not really so much of a bait and switch.
Yeah.
This one, it's probably going to end up being a bait and switch.
Okay.
They're like, hey, free houses. And then you get there and who knows?
Where are these free houses? Okay, tell me the story. So there's free houses in this place.
Okay. So in August of last year, a woman named Tavia McNaughton went to Ganges, Sicily on the promise of buying a house for just €1. So in American dollars, like $1.50 or
$1.13. So $1 and some change, you could buy a house, which I think you can do in Detroit too.
Detroit's on the up-ins. Don't knock Detroit.
I still think you can buy houses like super cheap.
I'm sure you can, especially like the city kind of centralized itself. So I'm sure like along the outer part of the city, they're still probably super cheap. But after traveling nearly 10,000 miles from her home in Melbourne, Australia, so she's from Australia.
So she probably went right over Pitcairn. She's like, I'm going to stop here for a bit.
She stopped at Pitcairn and she saw crazy ass Cleatus running around with copper wire in his mouth. And she's like, you know what? This isn't for me. So she gets back on the boat and she goes to Ganges, Sicily. And 10,000 miles from her home in Melbourne, Australia, crossing 2 continents, she discovered that it would cost a lot more than that, over $17,000 more. She said, I stayed there for 1 week and looked at all the houses that were for sale.
That still seems pretty cheap for a house. That's $20,000. I mean,
she said they were all terrible and needed to be knocked down and rebuilt.
So this is like old Italy houses, like probably
still
like war-torn houses.
Yeah. I stayed there for with the dwindling population and aging homes that offer little New World appeal, the city started giving the homes away. The catch, buyers have to draw up renovation plans within a year and execute them within 3. And the clause came to cost. So they have to have renovation plans. So basically they have, if they get a house, they have 3 years to fix it. The conditions were such that she would need to pay fees and permits.
Oh, this is a scam to get some tax money.
Totaling $17,000 before she started to renovate.
So really, you're buying the house for $20,000 and then renovating it.
Yeah. That's because if you're paying $17 in fees and permits. Now that's crap. She'd be like, I'm going back to Sea Serpent Island. Fuck this. At least Sea Serpent Island, I get some entertainment. There's a guy with no teeth running around, piece of copper wire in his mouth. There's everybody running around going, hey, do you want a stamp? Do you want a stamp?
Do you want a Beanie Baby? How about one of these fidget spinners? We're kind of a trendy place here.
This is totally going to catch on, we swear. The bottom dropping out on the visions of prospective buyers of cheap ownership isn't unheard of. In America, foreclosed homes that go up for auction almost always need major repairs. The fact that they cost next to nothing usually just serves to get potential buyers interested. When local governments reclaim the properties, they sell them on the agreement that repairs will be made within a certain period of time. That's kind of shitty. I've never understood the whole thing when it comes to houses in America, because when you look at the amount of homeless people we have, and then you look at like houses that are just sitting completely empty, even like houses that are like run down and falling apart. At some point, couldn't somebody just be like, hey, you sleeping on the street, so you don't die, you could just sleep in this house?
Well, I mean, somebody owns it. But if nobody's paying attention to it, like some of those houses probably do have people that live in them that shouldn't be, and they get squatters' rights. That's what happened with Cleatus. He squatted on the island so long he gets all of it.
In my island. I got you. We're in the middle of the South Pacific. There's no such thing as squatters' rights. Maritime squatters' rights. In the end, she realized it was cheaper to buy a house that wasn't on the list of €1 homes, so she spoke to a local real estate agent to see houses that were more up to par. But when she showed interest in one of those houses, she was told she couldn't buy it on the spot. I said I would buy it, but they said not now. 8 weeks after she returned home without a Sicilian home, when she returned to Australia without a Sicilian home to her name, she got an email asking if she was still interested. But by then, I was over it, she said. Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah. She was like, I'm all ready for my spaghetti and meatballs.
Well, you know what happened? She watched Under the Tuscan Sun. And then she's like, it's going to be just like, it's going to be like Eat, Pray, Love, but in Italy. And then she shows up and they're like, $17,000. What, to fix it? No, $17,000, then you fix it.
You have 3 years. If you don't fix it within, it's $100,000 fine. Would you become a citizen then of Italy if you did that?
I would. Not necessarily. I wouldn't think. I don't know what the laws in terms of immigration and becoming an Italian national. I don't know what all that entails. I assume it's very lax. Like, okay, so maybe this is, I don't know, maybe this is kind of, prejudice or, stereotyping of me. But I imagine everybody in Italy is like, they're all just like hanging out. Like, did you ever see the movie? Did you ever see the movie Roman Holiday?
No.
Old movie. Like, it just seems like everybody's just like hanging out and, like, oh, I paint. And somebody's like, oh, I'm, like, I just get the impression that everybody's just kind of walking around, just doing whatever they want. And somehow they manage to survive.
They're all super artsy fartsy and like, well,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, our, like, we don't really have any money, but, we're still alive, getting by.
Right? That's what I imagine. Like, Italy to me seems like the coolest place to live because it seems like no one really does anything. Like, everybody, they're all just like drinking wine and eating crackers and cheese and fucking off and hanging out and painting pictures and walking around naked. And
I think that works for a while until the money runs out. And that's when you kind of have the revolts. It's like our government failed us by letting us just draw and drink wine.
The illusion has come to an end. So that was sad. So I think between the two places, I would much rather live on Cleatus Island, Pitcairn Island.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like a good deal. And like I was just thinking, Richard, if this podcasting thing takes off for us, I don't know. We have to look into it, like how much money we need to survive on this island. They have the internet. We can upload our episodes.
Exactly. We could podcast, and then we'd have Cleatus on as a guest.
Yeah, we'll be sitting out there. Cleatus will come by. What are you guys doing on them podcasts?
What's a podcast? God damn it! It happens even here. Thought
like,
we could escape it.
It's like, Cleatus, here, talk into this mic real quick. We want to have you. Holy shit, it's a big old, it's a, what the hell is that? It's a different kind of one. I've never seen a sea serpent like that.
It's a sea serpent with a huge giant head. Hang on, I'll kill it. That's my microphone cord, Cleatus, and he bit it in half.
Oh, well, that's all we have for this show, everybody. Holy shit, there's another one. Damn it, we didn't finish.
Upload what we got.
Every episode we end with us running in the beach. And my name's Shawn.
Cleatus, don't bite that.
Yeah.
They just play the end music. Cleatus, not again. Don't bite the mic. I feel like we should end the show at this point.
All right. Well, Richard, do you have any Richard's closing thoughts on the island that we're going to move to?
Buyer beware. I think that's the lesson here. You know, hey, there's cool houses in Italy. Hey, they're super cheap. But where's the other shoe? Where's the other shoe? Hey, there's an island in the South Pacific and they're giving away land. Oh, but what do you do for money? And you got a crazy guy running around cutting your electricity off by biting the cables. So I would say, I guess maybe there's one of two lessons here, or maybe both. Either buyer beware or you get what you pay for.
Yeah. And do your research.
Yeah. Like us, we're going to get 5 houses and then we're going to do Airbnb.
We'll let everybody know how it goes.
Electricity optional depending on Cleatus's schedule.
All right. Well, I'll do a little bit of housekeeping. Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter. We're at languageofbro. Email us at eatthebeaver@languageofbromance.com. Got a lot of emails coming in. We've been trying to respond to them as quick as we can, so keep sending them in. Check out the LOB Army Intelligence Reports. Like us on Facebook. And you know what? Go out and recruit somebody for the LOB Army by getting someone you know to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or Stitcher.
And when you're on Apple Podcasts, what you can do is you can make sure to rate us and leave a review. Rating us is great. Leaving a review is even better because those reviews are what help keep us in the charts that we are at. It helps keep us relevant, helps keep us in the podcast game, in the podcast fight.
Helps keep the sea serpents away too, because they won't attack if they see reviews. They're scared of them.
Yeah. Reviews are the Cleatus of...
and if you also can always check us out on the Pod Bros Network. They're at the forefront of fighting sea serpents.
I feel like this is on the verge of becoming dirty.
And if you want to help us afford to live on this island where we can do our podcast from Pictony, throw a little cash money in our Patreon by going to www.patreon.com/languageofbromance.
Yeah, do all of the things, or do some of the things. Well, I mean, or do none of the things. We like you anyway. We won't think less of you.
Yeah, we've been doing this for over 3 years now, Richard, so we're not going away.
Much to everyone's chagrin.
All right, was there anything else before I close her out?
No, I need to go wrestle my own sea serpent.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And I say we eat the beaver. I say we eat the sea serpent.
It's not a sea serpent. I just want to look at porn.
Caverns and Comedians is a real play Dungeons & Dragons podcast featuring Toronto comedians playing Dungeons & Dragons. We roll the dice, but we edit that out to just give you the nice role-playing experience. featuring acts of heroism.
I've got his wallet.
I mean, I didn't mean to kill him, but he was bad, right? We're pretty sure?
Do I have to heal you? I don't want to. Can't you just die?
Ooh, a dungeon master. My safe word is potato.
Stumbling towards goodness, one roll at a time. Caverns and Comedians can be found on iTunes, Google Play, or kicksandgigglesentertainment.com.